Coleco, an early video game juggernaut, bringing us to ColecoVision and those sweet LCD arcade-style games. But did you know that they also made toys? I am the Game Collector, and this is Second Opinion Games, and today I count down the top 10 toys made by Coleco.
Second Opinion Games.
Coming in at an honorable mention, we have the Starcom toys. These are like less articulate G.I. Joes with magnets built into their feet. Playing with these guys on the playground was a blast because they could walk up the slides or flagpoles, things like that. They also had Starcom bases, which were great for your G.I. Joes to occupy, but not so much for the Starcom toys themselves because they were quickly forgotten about because of how lame and nerdy they were. Heck, they actually got funded by NASA to shove these in the hands of little kids around the world, and you know what? We just don't like that smart stuff around here. At the number 10 spot is probably the most well-known toy made by Coleco. It's the Cabbage Patch Kid dolls. These things were so sought after that people actually died fighting over them. Yes, you did not love your kid unless you happened to throw a Cabbage Patch Kid doll under the tree anywhere between 1983 and 1986. People actually had riots over these. If you don't believe me, just look up Cabbage Patch Kid riots on Wikipedia and have yourself one darn good read. Why does it take up the number 10 spot? Well, it's because it is a chick toy, my friends, and I don't care about chick toys. At number 9, I have a question for you. Did you have yourself a pet rock? Basically, the rocks just had googly eyes and maybe even a mouth pasted on them, but they sat there and didn't do anything. Well, Coleco took that to a whole new level, giving you something to actually hold on to that's a little bit more soft, like the couch potato. It's a potato on a couch. It's genius. Does it do anything? No. Is it soft and cuddly? Yes. And it's awesome because it's a potato, and everybody loves potato. Think about how many times you think about potatoes in a day, whether it's French fries or potato chips, and now you actually get to hold your very own lovable couch potato right in your arms. In the number 8 spot, what's 3 apples tall and blue? If you said anything other than the Smurfs, well then put that in the comment box down below so the entire internet can make fun of you. And I'm not just talking about the little tiny Smurf toys here. I'm talking about full-on Power Wheels ride-ons. That's right, if you love the early 80s cartoons and the movies that still come out to this very day, well then chances are these ride-ons were for you, or more importantly now, probably for your kids or your grandkids, because these things were pretty darn sweet, and of course they were made by Coleco.
Here, Papa Smurf, TV pictures of the new Smurf riders taken at the Smurf test track.
And tested on real kids. Parents will love the Super Smurf piggyback rider. It's terrific for toddlers.
Real Smurfy.
The Smurf's a poppin' train. It's really poppin'.
A walker and a rider.
The Smurf Power Cycle for kids a little older. It looks like fun. And now, ta-da! The Smurfmobile. Wow!
Smurf-tastic.
Love those colors. Smurf blue, of course.
Smurferific.
At the number 7 slot, we have Mashups at the cutting edge of gross out toys. These little guys were made of some type of foam rubber where you would just take them and mash them up. Whether it's a dentist with holes and weird teeth all over the place, or just a guy that seems like he's out for blood, these little toys led to other toys like Mad Balls, which were balls that you could throw at your little cousin's face, and when he starts crying, you could say, "I was just playing nicely with him. I don't know what made him so upset," except these weren't balls, so you just had to mash them over and over again. And they were definitely cool for all the little kids. At number 6, everybody loves a good teddy bear to hold at night, but how about holding on to a space alien that loves to eat cats. That's right, I'm talking about Coleco's 1988 Alf plushie doll. This thing is so cool with his oversized snout. You know what? They also made Dr. Seuss plushie dolls back in the day. So as far as today's standards goes, this company might as well be canceled already if they didn't cancel it like 20 years ago. Overall, these plushies are terrific. Whether it's Alf or the Dr. Seuss characters, you could not go wrong with the Coleco plushie line. At number 5, those Smurf ride-ons were cool, but they're kind of a baby's toy. How about driving around in a Trans Am instead? And if you could throw in a little bit of David Hasselhoff, well then I'll take every bit of that. I'm talking about the Knight Rider ride-on toys. Heck, even Mr. Feeney's voice was working in here, so Kit would actually talk to you. Even if it did sound a little bit muffled back in the day, you were a total stud if you had one of these to ride around in. At number 4, if you wanted a foosball table and your parents were too cheap, or maybe they just didn't have the space for it, maybe you can convince them into getting power play hockey. It's the New York Islanders versus the Philadelphia Flyers in a very skill-based foosball-esque game of hockey, moving your goalie back and forth as well as your defensive and offensive men up and down the field. This game is great for all ages, and because it was made really high quality, it stands the test of time to this very day, to the point where they sell for like $200 on eBay, and they're worth every penny of it. At number 3, think back to 1977. Who was the very coolest person on TV at that time? If you said the Fonz, well then you are right, as well as really old. And what can be cooler than the Fonz himself? Well, pinball. That's right, Coleco made a full-on pinball machine with Arthur Fonzarelli front and center. This was definitely a kid's toy, but this was definitely the most realistic pinball-style toy that anyone has ever seen up to this date. It's made with real metal parts, even though there is a little bit of plastic throughout. There's lots of binging and lights, and oh my god, is this thing ever sturdy and fun, and I wish I had one of these in my game room, because not only is the Fonz cool, the Fonz on pinball, it's like cool on cool. It's like putting ice cubes on top of your ice cream. It might not sound like a good idea, and it's probably not, but it's something I'm gonna try, even if I'm gonna hate it. At number 2, you remember the Easy Bake Ovens? Yeah, they're still being sold to this day. Well, Coleco had their own version called the Chef Junior line. My favorite, of course, being the Milkshake Maker. Take a look at that sweet piece of tail on the cover box, too. And also, Sherry Lewis isn't looking too bad either. Essentially, this was just an electric stirring spoon. You could pour in your Ovaltine powder or maybe even chocolate milk syrup with a little bit of milk and make your own mixed drinks right there on the spot. Of course, it did come with a couple of powdered milk drinks that definitely have gone bad over time, but were really cool to have way back in the day. If you grew up hungry, chances are you were asking your parents for one of these just so you could get some quality Tang beverage stirred up without having to stir it with a spoon yourself. At number 1, think back to the 80s. What would be the most age-appropriate action figure to ever come out? If you said Rambo, you are sick. Just as sick as Coleco themselves. That's right, take a rated R movie about a disgruntled PTSD cop killing Vietnam vet, give him his own action figure line where he murders people from the Middle East, presumably, and even has all the generals at his disposal. You might as well give him like little nuclear warheads while he's at it, because this guy just screamed war and blood and guts. I would have Rambo fight against my G.I. Joes like 10 at a time, and he would just be ripping them in half with the little rubber bands that held the G.I. Joes together, breaking them, just making them ooze blood everywhere. Boy, everyone's parents that would have seen something like this would have been horrified. And that's why Rambo is my number 1 Coleco toy of all times. But of course, that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching.
Now, command the powers of Adam with professional keyboard, high-speed memory drive, and built-in word processor program, all in one package.
Oops, you gotta start over.
Relax, Adam. Move that paragraph.
Is that legal?
And print.
Adam, even a letter-quality daisy wheel printer.
You did it!
Adam, my launch sequence.
Is that legal?
Command the powers of Adam and program your future.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I had a great time making it, and hopefully I just converted a couple of people that love video games into loving collecting toys just a little bit more. I won't stop till I have another Power Play hockey of my very own, and that Fonz pinball machine is just too cool. Making Rambo fight He-Man is one darn awesome thing to do, and Sherry Lewis is a fox no matter how you cut it. So what was your favorite toy made by Coleco, or maybe any video game company, or company that was connected to video games in any way? I want to know in the comment box down below, and until later, I will see you again, guys.